Hi lovelies, welcome back to another interesting tutorial. Today we're going to be making this beautiful pleated wide leg palazzo pant. I had previously made a tutorial on how to make this pant, but then I had so many comments asking about the pocket tutorial. So here we have it. This wide leg palazzo pant has a pocket and a band and everything. So stay tuned to the end to see how I made this. Give this video a like and don't forget to subscribe. First things first, go ahead and fold your fabric into two, and to know how wide you're going to be folding this, you're going to divide your lap measurement into two, and then you're going to be adding 5 inches. That is for the freeness. So after you're done folding, go ahead and mark 5 inches just like you see me do here, from the beginning of this fabric to the end. So this top here is going to serve as our waist, and from that top, which is the waist, you're going to mark down to your crotch length. I have a detailed tutorial on how you can get that accurately. I'm going to leave it down in the description box, but then you're not going to mark exactly your crotch length at this point, because we're making a free trouser. You're going to add 2 or 3 inches to your normal crotch length. Okay, you can add 3 inches to the crotch length depending on how tall or how chubby you are. If you're not so tall or chubby, you can go ahead and use 2 inches. After marking that, you can go ahead and mark your front crotch extension, and the standard is 2. So from the edge of our fabric here, we're going to mark in 2 inches, and we're going to draw a curve across like this. After I'm done marking that, by the side here, go ahead and mark 2 inches inwards, and then you're going to curve that down to meet the hip line like this. After that, the next thing, we're going to mark the length of this trouser piece. And you know, making a palazzo trouser, you have to be generous with your length, so make sure it's very long and it's touching the floor. That is what gives the beauty to your palazzo trouser. Drafting this pant is really easy. This is just all you need. Now you're done drafting, go ahead and cut out just like you can see me do. Going over to draft the back, I'll go ahead and introduce a fresh fabric which will be 2 inches wider than the front piece. So first things, we're going to mark 2 inches along the side here, and I'll bring over our cut front piece and place it on top of this back piece just after the 2-inch allowance we just added. I'll make sure to leave allowance along the upper part as well, because we're going to be raising the crotch at the back to accommodate the butt and hip. Because in the last tutorial I did not do this, and I had a lot of comment asking how about the back crotch extension, but really it does not matter. Even the other one I did fit really well, but for this tutorial I'm going to be applying that, which is still okay. So because the side of our waist is curved there, I'm making sure that I have 2 inches along that point as well. That is what I just marked there. So after marking that out, go ahead and apply your back crotch extension, and I just marked 1 inch above the front crotch point there, and I slanted the line to meet the actual waistline like this. So that's basically all for the back. You can go ahead and cut this out following what we just drafted accordingly. Next thing, now I'll be applying the front waistline. So I'll bring over my front piece, and on this waistline here, I'm going to drop it at the crotch point by 1 inch, and I'll be slanting it to meet the waistline before going ahead to cut out. Going over to draft the pocket, I'll first of all fold my fabric into 2 and fold again into 4, because I'll be cutting 4 pieces for the left and the right side. I'll then draw a line across, which should be my starting point, and from that line I'll be marking down 12 inches, which is the length of this pocket. At this starting point here, I'm going to drop it by 1 inch and curve it to meet up with that line. Our pocket opening is going to be 8 inches wide. So from this point which we just dropped here, I'll be measuring down 8 inches, and from that 8-inch point I'll go in by ½ inch and draw a curve to meet the down part of our pocket like this. Go ahead and circle this out to create the shape of the pocket. It's very simple. The aim of this is so that your hands can be able to fit into the pocket, and you can see that there's allowance around my hand. That means the pocket is well drafted. It's big enough to accommodate the size of my hand. That's basically it. So you can go ahead and cut it out at this point. I have 4 pieces here. I then went ahead to mark out the wrong side so that I can know which side is which when I start sewing. Now I'm going to be joining the 2 pieces of the front piece along this crotch area. Okay, so whatever I do for the front, I'm going to do the same thing for the back. I'll take this over to the machine and sew along this side. I've gone ahead to sew that down, and this is what it looks like. So the next thing now, we're going to be pleating this piece, and I tell you, there's no rule to this. You can decide to pleat it however you want it. You can decide to make it going sideways all through. You can decide to make them kiss pleats or whatever. It depends on your preference. But for me, for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to make mine look like this. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to divide my waist circumference into 2, and whatever I have, I'm going to distribute it between the front and the back piece. For me, I'm making use of 36 inches as my waist circumference. So dividing that into 2, I'm going to have 18 inches. That means I'll have 18 inches for the front piece and 18 inches for the back piece. Now I have 2 sides of my front. That is, the crotch here has divided the front piece into 2, so I have one left and one right. So that 18 inches which I divided my waist circumference, I'm going to divide it again into 2, making it 9 inches. So I'm going to be distributing that 9 inches to the left and to the right, in which altogether will still give me that 18 inches. And again, the side of our trouser here, this side, we have not joined it, we have not sewn yet, so we'll be leaving 1 inch around there so that we can join the front piece to the back piece. So now the 1 inch allowance that we're leaving now, we're going to add it to the 9 inch we initially had, making it 10 inches. So after pleating up this part, we're going to end up with 10 inches. That is sewing allowance included. Okay, hope you understand. So what I'm going to do is this. To get the pleats, I'll first of all measure what I have on one side of my trouser piece. So from this crotch line here, I'm going to measure towards the side of the trouser piece, and here I have 13.75, approximately 14 inches. So let's say I have 14 inches. So what I'm going to do is I will be subtracting 10 inches from that 14 inches, making it 4. That means altogether the pleats should be 4 inches wide. Hope you are following. Now going over to create the pleat, you're going to be creating it just the way you created that on your trouser piece. That's finding your bust pan measurement, and from this crotch curve line here, I'm going to be marking that point. That is my bust pan measurement divided by 2. That's what I'm marking there. So after marking that down, I'll go ahead and mark down the width of our pleat, and you know, with all the calculations we just did, we derived at 4 inches. For you, it could be more than 4 inches. It depends on the measurements you are working with. So for me, mine is 4 inches. After marking the bust pan measurement, I'll go ahead and mark 4 inches after that point. Now, after you have marked your 4 inches, you're going to find the middle of that 4 inches, because we're trying to create like a kiss pleat in the middle. So the middle of 4 is 2. That's what I'm marking there. And then I'm going to carry the both sides of my point and meet it in the middle of that 2 inches we just marked there, in between the 4 inches. So after you've done that, you can go ahead and cross-check to be sure that what you have at one side of your trouser is 10 inches, because that is what we're trying to achieve. So once you're satisfied with what you have, go ahead and do the same thing for the other side of the trouser piece. Go ahead, mark your bust pan measurements. After that, mark your 4 inches for pleats, find the middle, and then create your pleats. When you're done with the front piece, go ahead and bring over the back piece. You can see that I joined it together at this crotch point. Now I'll go ahead and create the pleats, and to do that, remember we had 18 inches distributed to the front and back. And you know the back piece is obviously bigger than the front, so we need to measure the waist to be able to know how many inches we need for the pleat. Right here I have 32 inches, so I'm going to be dividing that 32 inches into 2 to distribute between the left and the right side of my back trouser piece. That will be 16 inches. So on one side right here I have 16 inches. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to be subtracting the 10 inches we're supposed to have on the waistline from that 16 inches, and that will give me 6 inches. That means 6 inches is going to be the length of our pleats. So just like we did for the front, I'll first of all measure my bust pan measurement from this crotch curve line here. I'll mark that down, and after that point we're going to mark 6 inches for the pleats, and then I'm going to find the middle of that 6 inches, which is 3, and I'll be pleating these 2 points together to meet that middle point like this. Whatever you have done for this side, you're also going to do it for the other side of the trouser piece. Mark your bust band measurement, mark 6 inches, find the middle of the 6 inches, and then make your pleats. It's that simple. I've gone ahead to secure my pleats down on my sewing machine. You can see how beautiful this looks already. So the next thing now, I'm going to be attaching the pocket to the side of this trouser piece. So I'm going to bring over my cut pocket pieces, and what I'm going to do from this waistline here, I'm going to mark down 2 inches. That is where we're going to start fixing the pocket from. And then while fixing, you should ensure that you have right size of your fabric facing the right side of the pocket piece. Also, the part where it's very curved should be facing downwards on the trouser piece. Okay, this one does not align, so this other side, let's check it. Right side facing right side, okay, and then this very curved part should face downwards. This one suits well, so I'm just going to place it at the edge of my trouser like this, and I'm going to be pinning it down from that 2 inch we drop from the waist all through to the end of the pocket. We are going to do the same thing for the other side. You're going to mark 2 inches from the waist point, and then you're going to place your pocket right sides facing each other and pin. After I'm done pinning, I'll take this over to the machine and top stitch with 1/2 inch along the pocket point. We'll also be attaching the pocket pieces to the back, and you can see that I've already gone ahead to create my pleats and held it down in place. I'll bring over my pocket piece and I'll be placing right sides facing each other just like we did for the front piece, and I'll be marking 2 inches from the waist like this, and then I'll place the pocket piece and pin it down. I'll do this for the left and right side of my back piece. I've gone ahead to sew down the pocket on all the 4 sides of my trouser pieces. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to place together my front and back piece, right sides facing each other like this, and then I'm going to be aligning them at the waist, by the side, the pockets and everything. So now to sew, I'll first of all pick up the crotch point together, the front and the back, and align those lines, and I'll be sewing together from one end to the other, making sure that the crotch lines align. Okay, so after doing that, I'll also sew together the sides, and just watch carefully how I'm going to be sewing this. You know, we initially left 1 inch for sewing allowance by the side there, so I'm going to sew that point with 1 inch, and when I get to the pocket opening where the pocket starts, I'm going to follow the pocket shape with just 1/2 inch all round, and then by the time I get to the end of the pocket, I'm going to continue with 1 inch. Don't worry, when I sew this, I'm going to show you what it looks like. I've gone over to join the trouser pieces together, and this is what the inner leg of the trouser looks like. You can see that I aligned the crotch seams together and sew from one leg to the other. So at the side here, I'm sorry, I thought this was actually recording properly. I started with the 1 inch allowance we left. From there, by the time I got around the pocket, I went around the pocket, and at the end of the pocket here, I just sew it straight into the leg again and then down to the hem. I did it for both sides of this trouser. So I'm just going to turn this to the right side so that I can show you what it looks like. You can see how beautiful this looks on the outside. You can see that our pocket is invisible, it's inside, you can barely see it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick this up, okay, on the front side of this trouser, and I'm going to be top stitching around this pocket just about 0.25 inch, just a small stitch to hold it in place around there. Okay, so the next thing now is to fix the waistband, and then I realized that, oh, there's actually no opening where I can fix a zipper after I'm done. So my realization for this trouser is that when you're making a trouser with an invisible pocket, make sure that you either put an elastic waistband, make the waist wide enough to put an elastic waistband, or you're going to fix your zipper at the back. In the last tutorial, I did not have a pocket, except if you're using the normal side pocket, not the invisible, the normal side pocket. That one you can still put your zipper by the side. But when it is invisible pocket, make sure that you either put a waistband or a zipper at the back. So I'm just going ahead to loosen this at the back because that's where I'm going to be putting my own zipper at the back. Since we have curved the waistline already, we cannot put elastic on the waist. I'm going to lose this. Go ahead and check to be sure that you have loosened up to 8 inches because that's the opening we need to put the zipper. Okay, so after I'm done, this is what it looks like. You're going to top stitch where we just loosened to hold that stitch in place. After I'm done, next thing we're going to be fixing the waistband around here. So this is the waistband we cut for this piece. This waistband is cut on fold. By the time I open it, this is what it looks like. I went ahead to iron hairstay on it. The wideness of this waistband is 2 inches, while the length is your waist measurement plus sewing allowance. So this is how I'm going to fix this. I'll place the waistband facing the right side of my fabric and I'm going to sew all around from one waist opening to the end. Also at the hem here, I'll be folding this into 2. I'll first of all fold by 1/2 inch and then fold again by 1 inch. I'll go ahead and iron it down with my hemming gum first to hold it in place before going ahead to top stitch. I've gone ahead to fix the waistband. You can see how beautiful it looks right here. I went ahead to fix the zipper at the back, and at the hem here, I hemmed it down with my hemming gum. I've not stitched it down yet, and you can see that it's looking nice and clean already as if I've stitched it. So by the time I take this over to my machine, it's going to be very easy. So for the pocket here, I went ahead to top stitch. As you can see, it's really beautiful and clean and it's lying down in place. So this is the end result. Thank you guys. Hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, please leave it down in the comment section. Give this video a like, share, and make sure to subscribe. Okay, see you in my next tutorial. Bye.